Hello, this is Ian and welcome to another video. Today we are reading chapter 19 of Hermitcraft Freedom. I know most people prefer watching perspectives from the hermits and all that, but Kate's perspective is important in this case because she does have a murderer in her head, Gerald. So yeah, this is important for this chapter, and of course it started all the way back in Hermitcraft Genesis. And now we're here, Hermitcraft Freedom, and yeah. Oh, maybe I do another recap everybody, but like, honestly, I try to make sure the information you need to know is here, so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, there are captions available for the chapter, if you want to read along. You don't have to. You can also just enjoy me doing a pattern and just enjoy the story as it is. Or you could go somewhere else and see what else is done, because, like, this is, a Minecraft-inspired, fan fiction world, universe that I put Minecraft YouTubers in that I typically watch. And this time around, for the past couple of years, at least, we've been diving into Hermitcraft's stuff. Not related to anything that they're doing at all. But, yeah. Doesn't need to be. I don't expect it to ever be. It's just me having fun. And if you want to enjoy the ride, well, come along. And let's see what Kate's been up to. Shall we? Gleeful satisfaction filled her as Kate watched through the eyes of another one of Gerald's connections. Excuse me. Kate was unable to look away, unable to move. Not that she wanted to, not in the slightest. She was trying to find False and the boys. They were out there somewhere. But the person she loomed over was not False, nor any of the 3 missing boys she'd come to look up to and respect. She frowned as another scream filled her mind. Impulse. But how is that possible? He was here, safe at Hermit Fortress. She'd seen Jem take Grian and Impulse into the sleepover room to rest. Tears streamed down from the dark brown eyes of her friend. Tears of pain as he fought back every scream. Blood seeped through the right side of his black t-shirt as she tensed. The shirt was ripped, the tips tinged with ash. I've already told you, I don't know where they are. A voice spoke. Kate's throat tightened. Sam, did he know what those men did to his fellow protectors? Did they make him watch as they killed Aiden and David? Was this even real, or was Gerald messing with her? I could tell you, if you just let me in. Gerald's voice spoke softly. Kate tensed, shoving the thought away. I'll never join you. I won't let you hurt my friends. You can't stop me, child. Much less stop them, Gerald mused. They'll get what they want. We'll find False and the boys. We'll stop you, Kate snapped. Gerald laughed. You are still so very young. I'm 13, I'll have you know. Gerald didn't respond as the interrogator struck again. Impulsive scream filled her mind as satisfaction consumed her. Kate felt sick. Were these men just as bad as Gerald was? Happy to see innocent people suffer. Oh, but he must have told you something, another voice chuckled. A shiver ran down her spine. Was that what she thought it was? That's not possible. Stampy and Scott locked him up along with my dad. Kate chided herself. The voice was unmistakable, though. She could feel Gerald's delight as the possibilities sunk in. This is a trick, Kate said quickly. This has to be a trick. Impulse is supposed to be safe. He got away. They didn't want him. Do you know that? Gerald pressed. You could be lying, messing with me. Another scream filled her mind. She shuddered, hearing the pain in her friend's voice. Gerald didn't reply as she continued to watch helplessly. If only there was some way she could know for sure. But she was trapped here, unable to reach anyone else. Not Jem, not Skiz, not even Impulse. This can't be real, Kate insisted, looking into those brown eyes again. This was a memory, right? Could she be sure it wasn't just another nightmare that Gerald was putting her through? How could she know for sure? She groaned, trying to pull away from the eyes she was connected to. This couldn't be a memory. Why would Gerald show her something like this? He'd make it far more difficult to find if this was real. It couldn't be real. I love when you're so conflicted. It's adorable. I won't stop until you give us the truth, boy, the interrogator sneered. Those were Carnivor's orders. I don't have a way to reach him, Sam insisted. I don't have any coordinates I can use. Even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Even if the consequences would result in death. The other voice replied coldly. Kate shivered. Yes, it was definitely him. Richard Jargon. But what if this was another way for Gerald to scare her? How could she know? Don't tell him, Impulse pleaded, letting out another scream of pain as the man sliced him with a dagger down his sword arm. It's not worth it. Make your choice, boy, the interrogator snapped. Give us information, or he suffers worse. One final scream blasted through her mind as she bolted awake, gasping for breath, wide-eyed. She was in the sleepover room. She was safe. She groaned as she rubbed the sleepers from her eyes, sitting up in bed. Okay. The room was quiet, apart from the soft breathing of the hermits, their protectors, and the interns. She moved her eyes to where Green and Impulse were sleeping. They were still there. There hadn't been any midnight abductions. Besides, wouldn't they have heard that? Not unless they had another lingering potion, Kate reminded herself. She pushed the covers aside, looking at the two empty beds. Lee and Blake were still missing. There had been no sign that they were there with Sam either. Was it all a bad dream after all? Hopping out of bed, she quickly and quietly crossed the room to the door. It was open, ever so slightly, as she silently pushed it open, almost shouting with alarm when she saw someone standing next to the door. You're up early, Julius smirked. He leaned against the wall, arms crossed. His gray eyes seemed to sparkle in the torchlight. So are you? Kate pointed out, closing the door behind her, as she stepped into the hall. I'm on duty, Julius shrugged. Mom wants to make sure there's someone awake in case the defectors decide to attack. Kate frowned. Why would they? They have Sam and Liam. Impulse and Green would probably have some idea of where they were taken, Julius replied. They could have moved them. True, Julius nodded. But Green is quite a valuable piece to have, seeing as he's best friends with Nettie. Kate nodded. Well, at least he's safe with you here. Julius flashed a smile. Always happy to help. Kate stood beside the young man, leaning against the wall. What was she going to do with herself? There was no point falling back to sleep. It was still pretty dark out. I'm guessing you had no luck in finding false sort of boys? Julius asked, breaking the silence. Kate sighed. Gerald messing with me. I don't know what's real or not. Nothing makes any sense. I know. Julius looked straight ahead, toward the front door. Hopefully Jem has some luck tracking you down false. Yeah, Kate sighed. He's not messing with her now that I'm awake. Julius chuckled. Any plans for today, then? I don't know. Kate shook her head. We can practice and practice all we like, but I just have this feeling that it won't be worth anything. It will be. You'll see. Julius glanced over at her, giving a small, reassuring smile. He's smiling a lot, I notice. We always figure it out. Kate looked over at him. I hope you're right. It's really hard to be strong when the voice in your head is so persistent. You've got plenty of people to talk to, Julius replied simply. I'm sure your mother wouldn't mind giving you an ear if you need it. Kate nodded, not meeting the young man's gaze. She could feel his eyes on her. Why couldn't she shake the dream from her mind? Had it been a dream? Or had it been a memory after all? Did it hurt to check? She let out a sigh. If there was anyone she could talk to about it, it was Julius. Have any way to check to see if Richard is still locked up? I could ask Matthias to check in. Why? Julius frowned. I just want to make sure. You know how the defectors are. Julius looked over at her. This doesn't have to do what Gerald showed you, does it? It seems impossible, Kate admitted. Sam and Impulse were prisoners. They were hurting Impulse. Conover and Richard were there, too. You're right. It does seem unlikely, Julius said thoughtfully, seeing as Impulse is here. Let Matthias know to give me an update, Kate insisted. Please. I will, but I don't think you have anything to worry about. I'd feel better, Kate replied. Julius nodded. All right, I'll tell him in the morning. Thank you, Kate replied, turning away from him. I'm going to get Jelly some late-night snacks. I need a distraction right now. Call me if you need me, Julius said. Always. Kate grinned, disappearing into the kitchen, hearing the faint echoes of Julius' chuckle bounce off the walls. She would know soon if what Gerald had shown her was real. But if it was, then what did it mean? She wasn't sure she wanted to know. Oh boy, next week's gonna be fun. The next couple of weeks are gonna be fun. Yeah, stay tuned for that, I suppose. Yeah, next few are gonna be interesting. If you haven't read last week, then of course we know why this is so interesting and foreshadowy and all that, because these individuals in Impulse and Green aren't who they seem to be. Let's just say. Next episode, next week, we will find out the truth. If you haven't already read chapter 18, where you know what they are, then the link to the next video will be out when it's out. It will be down in the description when it's out. If it's not there, then of course, let me know. But yeah, it should be there. So you can easily click on that and watch the next one and all that stuff. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy. You can enjoy the ride wherever you tune in, I suppose. I would not expect anyone to start reading from the very beginning. No, that would be a lot. That would be a lot. I would appreciate it, though. More watch hours for me, but that's a lot of reading. And the early ones don't have something in the background that it's Minecraft. It's just me reading from the page. How interesting at that. Ay. But yeah. We'll see how this goes. See you guys in the next one. Whenever that might be. Goodbye.